And
T,
go ahead.
go ahead. Yeah, Coach was talking about this coaching staff and how he truly feels like it's the best in the country. You know, you and Coach Ansley and Jamie are just coming in, but you guys all know each other. Yeah. That familiarity, the being comfortable, that can't be underestimated, can it?
No, it can't. And the experience, you know, really, in my time of coaching, just watching Jim Chaney and what he's done everywhere he's been, you got to respect it. And DA's done a great job. He knows the system. He's coming from having worked with Pruitt. So just look forward to everybody working together.
Coach, you were here in the spring, but I mean, how much more sense of urgency is there now that you can kind of look on the calendar and see 4 weeks away?
Well, it's time to go. Really. Had a good off season. You look at the players' bodies, just talking to them. They were all here for the summer. Everybody's excited. Marquez is up in my office right now, ready to go, and that's exciting. So it's go time for me as a coach, and I know the players feel ready to go as well.
And you mentioned Marquez, but I mean, do you talk to these guys about, the seniors in particular, about just cherishing the moment? I mean, about how kind of fleeting it is. I mean, have you gone through it yourself?
Not yet. That kind of starts during training camp. Hit a little bit of it in the spring, but that's a little early for it. But this is the time where you really build your team character and kind of get an idea of what you have going into the first game. But we'll get to that kind of stuff later on.
The preceding is about as experienced as any group on the team. And how much responsibility is there for this group, and what do you think y'all are capable of achieving?
We will lean on our experience with the seniors, Juwan and Marquez. Those guys have played a whole lot of football, but the best guys will play. It's a clean slate during training camp. We're going to compete and put the best guys on the field to play.
Like you said, this is the time of the year where you kind of build your identity. What do you want that identity to be in your receivers?
Tough, physical, not beat ourselves, and make plays. Pretty much that simple.
You talked about the veterans and the experience, but what do you have coming down the pike? I mean, you see anything from Ramel or any of these young kids?
Well, the guy who I'm really excited about, Josh Palmer, thought he had a really good spring. Jordan Murphy had a really good spring. But Ramel's coming. It's early. He has the talent. He's really smart, but hadn't played yet. So we'll see how he comes along. But I like how Josh and Jordan performed in the spring.
What was it you saw?
With Jordan, what do you specifically like about him?
Who's that again?
Jordan.
Smart, man. He's a really intelligent football player. Really good route runner. Loves the game. Just want to see him play more. Hadn't seen a lot on film over the years with him playing, but I think he can do it.
T, how important is it having a veteran quarterback like Jared, and what have you seen from his leadership out there?
It's good because he has a chemistry, kind of a built-in chemistry with the guys, built-in leadership. It's a new system. So once he gets caught up and plays games within the system, you'll see the true potential. But the leadership qualities and the chemistry, those things, you can't underestimate those, and that's really what you get.
What did you like about Josh Palmer this spring? What specifically did you see that made you?
Man, consistent performance. He, in all of the scrimmages, he was a guy that stepped up and made big plays for us, and that's what we're going to need.
Hey, we won't talk to you again before the season starts. I know a long way to go before then, but you've not been back to Neyland for a game in a while. Will you soak up that moment when all that stuff happened?
The last time I was coming in with the hated Kentucky blue on, I was on the other sideline, and so that was it was strange, coming back as a part of another team. But going back as a Tennessee coach, it's something I've been thinking about doing for a long time, and I'm excited about doing it. I don't know how I'm going to feel, but looking forward to it.
T, what's your philosophy?
I'm hot right now.
What's your philosophy on rotating wide receivers? How many guys would you prefer to be in that rotation versus would you want to stick with just 3 or 4?
I want to play as many as we can because for me it's about quality of reps and not quantity of reps. I want to platoon the guys. Really look at how basketball teams do it, where if you're too deep, it's just as good as your starters. You don't care who's in the game. Obviously, we're going to have things that are designed for certain players to do that are just better than other players. But I want to be able to look up, whether I'm upstairs or downstairs, we haven't figured that out yet. But I want to be able to say, hey, Marquez is tired. The next guy goes up, and he can perform just as good. I think that's good for the camaraderie of the room. I think it's good for recruiting. And I think it's good for, game planning when other teams don't know where your guys are going to be. And they have to defend different types of receivers that all have different skill sets. So I want to play as many as we can. That's what I've always done, whether it was Kentucky, whether it was USC. I think that was something that attracted receivers to those schools, and they all performed, and 8 of them were in the National Football League. So I think you only get better by playing, and whether it's a young guy like a Ramel or a veteran, I want to be able to put them all out there and let them go play.
Coach, you've got a lot of wide receivers on your resume that are impressive that you've coached. When you look at Marquez, what stands out? How excited are you to work with him this
You know,
season?
Marquez has a skill set that's very similar to me, as to like a Juju Smith-Schuster who had at USC, who was very intelligent, did everything on special teams, did everything on offense, could play inside, could play outside, will play hurt, everything you asked a young man to do. You know, and I didn't know Marquez per se coming into the spring, but he was just always eager to jump in and do whatever you asked him to do. And he loves the game. This is last year. Ran a 4.4 flat, you know, in the summer. So he's gotten faster since a season ago. That was something that I challenged this group with in the offseason, was to get faster. And they all went into the weight room and they all had better times when they tested a couple weeks ago. So now we just got to take that work and put it onto the field. And I think he has the potential to be one of the best receivers in the SEC. And I'm not just saying it because he's here at Tennessee. His body of work to this point speaks for himself. And if he just continues to take his game to the next level, I think he could be one of those early round guys.
What do you want to see from Juwan in terms of getting better and stepping up his game?
To lead by example in a positive way, and he's turned the corner. Really saw him in the spring go from a guy who talked a lot about put me in, let me play, and you know, Juwan wants the ball, which is good. Every receiver should have that kind of want to get the ball. Was a little emotional at times, and then really watch him grow towards the end of the spring towards, I understand what my role is now, and let me just go out and play hard every play. And we're going to need him to do that. Obviously, we're going to move him around. He's one of our best guys. We got to get him the ball. But the positive attitude, really saw him take Ramel under his wing a little bit in the summer. They've gotten a little closer. So Juwan has changed a little bit for the positive. Cut his hair. He's looking like a young man again up there. Got his hair cut low. So he's listening to the things that we're asking him to do. It's his last year, and I think he understands the importance of him having a good season during his senior year.
As you try to develop some of these freshman wide receivers and even freshmen and sophomores, how much do you rely on a guy like Juwan or a guy like Marquez to be an additional voice and kind of bridge the gap between coaching?
The thing that's important is like Juwan and Tyler Byrne, those guys, BJ. I'm their fourth receiver coach, and the best thing a veteran receiver can do, or a veteran player at any position can do for a young player, is show that he trusts the new coach and that they believe in the new coach. And you have to win over that room as a coach right away. And I feel like we all have a good relationship in there. You can kind of feel the brotherhood coming together in the receiver room. And when a young guy's messing up, he has to show him by example and then put him on track when he's doing wrong. And that's the only thing I really ask the veterans to do, really, is to, number one, buy in, show that you're bought in, and then lead by example in a positive way.
What's Juwan's health look like going into camp?
Yeah, he'll be available. I know Coach Pruitt to get more in depth with the specifics of when and all of that stuff. But he's looking really well. I asked him how he felt. He said he's ready to roll. So we'll see as we go and kind of judge based on how the knee's feeling.
Coach, when